In today's episode, I am talking to Ash Koss with 2B Glass. And oh my goodness, you need to go to their website. You need to go to Instagram. It's the number 2, the letter B, glass, hand blown glass, beautiful items. The things that they're creating is just so awesome. I hope I can go to their facility in their store one day. But in this conversation, we were in person at New York Now. And when we ended, I was like, man, I could just keep talking to Ash for like ever. And her partner was there too. And Dustin was with me. And we were just sitting there chatting for a while after the episode. And I'm like, man, I feel like we could just talk forever. She just opens up about entrepreneurship in today's episode and running a business with partners. We talk about the importance of collaboration, working with your partners, working with your team, but also your community. In this episode, you'll learn that they are participating in festivals that can bring in thousands of people. They also do their own events that will bring in 500 to 1,000 people. I mean, like, so I asked Ash, what is the secret sauce? Like, how are you getting that many people to come to your events? And you're going to love her answer. And a big part of that is the collaboration and connecting with your community. And we also talk about leadership and just really managing a team and helping make sure everybody's on the same page and is happy. And she's got a couple of really great app recommendations for you. These are new ones that I haven't heard on the show in our resilience round. So be sure that you listen all the way through. Just really lovely conversation with Ash. And I know you're going to love it too. So let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Crystal Vilkaitis, the Wolf of Main Street, and this is Rooted in Retail. Ash, welcome to Rooted in Retail. I'm thrilled you're here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are sitting in person. If you're watching this, you can see that. But if you're listening, we are live at New York Now. If you are a gift retailer, you got to come to the show. Check out nynow.com. And it's so nice to see you in person. Thanks for taking time to talk with us today.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your retail journey.
Wow. Okay. It has been a journey. So nearly a decade ago, I guess I might start out a little personal if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
My sister was living in Michigan. I'm in California. We're both in these bad situations, toxic situations. We realized we got to get out of this. What should we do? She always wanted to move to Seattle. So we rented a Cruisin' America truck. I flew out to Michigan, grabbed her, and we made our way to Seattle. And on our way there, we're applying to jobs, looking for homes. And I'm like, I just need something colorful. My background was in corporate America. I'm a buyer by trade. And I had previously studied nutrition, was working with food. It was very colorful, and I just knew I needed that. So I'm searching in Indeed, buyer, colorful. This role comes up as a buyer for a glass blowing factory. I'm like, I don't know a thing about glass blowing, but this sounds so cool. And so I apply. I hear back, I get an interview, but I am on the road still. We're living in a tent.
Oh.
You know, we are camping along the road and not having a great time finding housing in Seattle. And this interview comes up. I'm thinking ahead of time, I'll have plenty of time. I'll be moved in. I can handle the interview. Well, I'm still in a tent. And this interview comes up. I'm trying to get ready for it in a Denny's bathroom. And I'm like, gosh, I can't do this. So I call the interview and say the unthinkable. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm so sorry. Is there any way we could reschedule? And I have to be honest, I'm in a Denny's bathroom trying to get ready for this. And she says, no problem. We reschedule it. Week goes by, I have the interview. I get a hotel. I get my stuff together, right? And then at the end of the interview, it's like, I have to be honest with you. I'm going to hire you, not because of your experience, not because of your attitude, but because you were willing to come in and do an interview from a Denny's bathroom. If you can do that, you can do anything. Yep. So that started my journey in glass blowing, and I worked there for several years, started buying from multiple locations, moved down to California, and that's where I met my business partners. And then for the next 5 years, we just built the brand, and it became retail eventually. And so we learned along the way a lot of glass blowing insight and business insight and entrepreneurship. And ultimately, we now have a brick and mortar in Cameron Park.
Yeah. And when did you open the brick and mortar?
February 2023, we opened it. And yeah, it's about 30 minutes from Sacramento, half an hour from Tahoe, 2 hours from San Francisco. It's got a really good road tripping location for people who like to explore. Yeah, it's 5,000 square feet. 2,500 of that is a hot shop. So you could come and watch live glass blowing. And it's a really neat space. We're really proud of it.
It is neat. Anybody who's listening or watching, go check out their site and their content. Beautiful products and a really cool space.
Thank you.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking us through that. And it is kind of the story of just like willing to just do it and show up and follow this gut instinct that you had of, I love that you just needed something colorful.
Yeah.
And you sure found it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love sharing that part of our story because it's such a good example of you don't have to be born a business major. You don't have to go through the regular path of, which is a great path as well, not downplaying that. But if you didn't go to business school, if you didn't see yourself as an entrepreneur, it can stumble into your life at any point. And if you're an entrepreneur by nature, it's going to come up and it's going to force itself into your life. And you know, my experience has been that it makes so much sense now. And in retrospect, I had no idea until now that I was going to end up here, obviously. And it all makes sense now. It's all like all the pieces make sense. They all come together. So I like to share that so people who may feel a little bit lost and kind of all over the place, like, it's okay. You're building the building blocks of what you might make in the future.
It's so true. And you have to, I've talked about this on the show in the past, like, sometimes we don't know, we can't even imagine what life could look like or what success could look like. But you just have to take the next step. It will lead you there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's so your story, which is amazing.
1% every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I love that. Yeah. So you launched just a few years before the pandemic, and that obviously was one of the toughest times for a lot of small businesses. It's been a weird world a little bit there. So what were the key decisions or pivots that helped you not just survive, but really come out stronger during that time?
Yeah, that was an intense time for us. One of my business partners is also a life partner, and we had quit our jobs right before COVID. I'm living in a new relationship, a new business relationship where I'm working with his family, all these dynamics, you know, and then to be locked in together. And just starting the business out, bootstrapping it all. You know, we never got investors. We never took on loans. And so it was really scary time. But I think that, you know, pivoting is so important. You have to be ready at any moment to just be okay with change. What's the expression? The only thing constant in life is change. And you just have to live with that and accept that. And so when COVID hit, we had pre-COVID, we were doing 44 art shows a year. So nearly every weekend I was on the road at some art and wine or art festival. We're so fortunate in the state of California that there are a lot of those opportunities. So we took advantage of that. We don't do anything half.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I believe that.
44 shows a year, and it was exhausting.
I can't imagine.
So COVID hit, and it was a blessing in disguise in that way for us because it really forced us to get a website together, to prioritize our Etsy, to be comfortable with paying ads online, spending money you don't know what's going to happen with it, and learn how to take our own photography. Like, we pivoted and we decided we can no longer do in person. No problem. We're going to go online. And it worked out for us. So we were really successful with that. Our Etsy boomed. And that was like a moment for us that we realized we can do this.
Yeah.
This is real now.
Tipping point.
And
yeah.
We're not going to, starve.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and that had to be so terrifying because with people that had businesses reliant on the in-person and the festivals, like all of a sudden your business model's gone. And so to your point, you've got to pivot, you've got to evolve, you've got to just make that change. And you guys were up for the challenge, and I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
So you've mentioned this, that you're working with your life partner. I mean, it's all dudes that you're working with, it sounds like, right? Like you just got, I think you're the only woman in the show, right?
Largely,
yes. Okay. So what unique challenges have you faced in leading this dynamic, and what advantages have come from working in this environment?
Yeah, so The glass blowing community itself is also very male dominant. There are definitely challenges and values that you can get out of that. In our situation, we have absolutely, I mentioned earlier, the dynamics are rich. I'll say, sorry, I do say it so much.
Okay. That's okay.
So what I'll say is I am not a glass blower. I am an A-type personality. I tend to have a more masculine communication style, and I come from corporate America. I meet my glass blowing co-partners. They are gentle, fun-loving dudes. They are also glass blowers with a manufacturing background.
Okay.
And so we kind of bumped heads in the beginning. And an example I can give you is with product development. This is a big part of our business. We are makers first and foremost.
Yeah.
So product development started out with, they were beginning glass blowers when we first met. I got to see these guys really, really achieve their craft. So in the beginning, they would make something, they'd be super proud of it. And they would come and show me and be like, look what I made, Mom.
Yeah.
And I would be like, it can be better. This, and this is wrong. No one's going to buy that. We need it to look like this. And they would just be like, be mad at me.
Yeah.
And
take all the air out of my,
exactly.
Inflated. Yeah.
Exactly. And so they would be like, you're not a glass blower. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how difficult this is. And I'd say, yes, and it's not good. Like, no one's going to buy that.
I know how
we're
to
not
sell
gonna,
it.
we're not going to reproduce that. So lots of tension. And so at the end of the day, we really had to learn each other's communication styles. And we really had to understand that if it's okay for you guys to talk shop and to be blunt and forward and stern and etc., it needs to be okay for me to be blunt, forward, and stern as well. And to not expect me to be gentle all the time, and know that we're on the same team and I have your best interest in mind, and I'm just trying to make sure that we survive.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn, you don't need to be such a hard ass all the time.
Yeah.
You can soften. And so that was really valuable for me. And who wants to be a hard ass all the time? So it was really great to learn that about myself and grow as a person aside from growing in the business. So definitely a work in progress, ongoing.
Always.
Communication is so important. And I have two styles of guys too. One is an immediate no, and one is an immediate yes to everything.
Okay.
And I won't say which is which.
It's so opposite.
Yeah. Brothers, right?
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. So I have to learn two dynamics there. I have to toggle with two dynamics, and I've become like the mediator in our group where we all have to come together, and that includes me. Like, I have to learn how to speak to each of them so that they hear me and so that we actually make progress. And I think that has been so pivotal, so essential for our growth. And we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the tripod,
Well, and I mean, good for you. You sound like a really awesome leader.
Oh, thanks.
Like, to really have that kind of care to be like, okay, I need to communicate effectively, and I'm going to do so with the team members in their way, like how best suits you. And this is me. I'm willing to learn. Like, that's a really great leader. Did you get that from your corporate America? Is that like just who you are?
I think, to be honest, I can't take all the credit. It was through the experience of having their feedback of being like, you're not a great leader. They didn't say that.
Yeah.
But I learned that, like, if I want to be a good leader, I need my team to respect, appreciate my ideas, and receive them. And if they can't give that to me, then I'm not, you know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think their feedback made me realize that I had work to do. And if I want to be effective, I have to be better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not exactly sure.
Well, but that honestly is a great answer, because you're a good leader because you're not taking the credit.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, I just feel like you
Yeah.
kind of have that, and it helps so much entrepreneurship is so hard.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to figure out all aspects and you don't have the education, it doesn't mean you have to have it, but when you're learning as you go,
Yes.
you really do see what are my strengths and what aren't my strengths, and how can I leverage my team, and you learn so much about yourself and other people.
Yeah.
And you just seem so open to that, which is going to only propel the business forward, which is really awesome.
Thank you.
And what a dynamic for you to just be in there with those guys.
Yeah.
You know?
What comes up for me too when you say that is, a lot of people choose entrepreneurship because they want a better life. They want freedom. They want to be able to not have a glass ceiling in their income. And so when you do that and then you go down the road of entrepreneurship, you quickly learn that this is not sunshine and daisies. This is hard work.
Yeah.
And so anything I could do to make it sunshine and daisies again, I wanted to. It's already so hard in so many other ways that it can't be hard in that way as well.
Yeah.
Like there's so many stressful things about being an entrepreneur that you have to love your team. You have to love working with them every day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're just trying to be happier.
Yeah.
So if I'm not happy in my team and I'm trying everything I can to make that better and to communicate with them so that we can be, I think at the end of the day, that's the goal. So it was the motivation to change.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. So you've talked about the importance of consistency, tenacity, delegation, collaboration. What's one specific strategy that has been a game changer for growing your business?
Yeah, I think, this is specific and maybe this wouldn't translate universally, but I think many people could benefit from collaboration. I feel like we wouldn't be where we are in this industry if there wasn't the three of us. I think about this all the time. If the three of us independently tried to start a glass blowing company, we would have long failed. We have such different skills and personalities and qualities to bring to the table. And that really collectively got us to where we are today. What I've seen is there's the artist, and then the artist wants to start a business, but a lot of times they have artist brain,
right?
And they don't have as much business brain or mindset or experience or background or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so they really struggle. And then the next best thing is you have artist and partner or, marriage or best friend, and that works a little bit better. Well, we've got a tripod, and so it keeps us so balanced. There's so much pushback, and we have boundaries, we have accountability, and the different styles. There's just so much there that really helps us to make good decisions. When someone's kind of slacking, it's like, nope, I've got two other people counting on me. Or if someone has like a crazy idea, we have three people to bounce it around and say, is this a good idea? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And there's just so much value in that. I just think if you're going to start a business, the first thing you need to do is find your co-founder. Like you need to go out there and look for someone who you're going to work compatibly with and who complements you, who brings different things to the table that's not your twin.
Right.
And you're going to do great. It's like having a gym buddy, right?
Right.
How much more time do you make it to the gym if you've got a partner like holding you accountable?
For sure. It's so true.
Yeah.
And even like our retailers listening who, if it's them, they own the store. I think there's ways that we can collaborate with our team members, our store managers, joining mentorships or coaching programs or finding friends at markets like this that you connect with, that you can collaborate with. Like retail can feel lonely and isolating. Don't let it be, right? You have that collaboration, which you guys really need. I feel like everybody needs that.
Yeah.
That's such a great point.
That's such a great point. I guess you don't need a co-founder. You don't have, if you really have this idea and it's your baby and you don't want to share it, you do need community.
You do.
And I think we just, with COVID and the way our story unraveled, we were so isolated.
Yeah.
Starting a glassblowing business is incredibly hard because it's such a huge barrier to entry and it's very expensive. So it's very hard to start it. And once you start it, you've got the ball rolling and you've got all the elements, but it's really expensive up front. And you need 10 years experience blowing glass to be good at it, to produce something.
Yeah.
So it's a massive investment up front for a hopeful return in the end.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess the point is just to your point that you need a tribe and don't try to be a lonely island,
No, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Now, for retailers struggling to grow or they're ready to really scale, there's often a lot of noise around what you should do. In your experience, what's one thing they should stop doing and what's one thing they should start doing immediately?
Okay. In my experience, I would say I don't regret what we did because, again, we were in the COVID scenario. which can happen, something like that could happen at any time. Right. But let's pretend it won't.
Yes.
We had to diversify like crazy. We were scared. We were super resourceful. We had broke mentality. We were like grabbing at straws. We're going to sell this, and this. And our pie was incredibly diversified. We thought we were doing a smart thing there. We thought we can't be taken down by something like COVID because we have our hand in many baskets.
Yeah.
In retrospect now, in a calmer environment, I feel like we have learned and can see that may have done us a disservice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because we were never able to focus on one thing strongly. We're doing several things to the best of our ability, but not putting 3 brains, full-time energy into 1 or 2 or 3 things,
Right.
maximum. So I would say if you're an artist or an entrepreneur trying to start a business, narrow your focus, find one thing, anything, any of the ideas you have could be great.
Yeah.
It's not that one is going to be better than the other. It's whichever one you're going to put all your energy into that's going to be the great one.
Yeah.
And just start. Like, you're not going to, I know this is so cliche, so everyone says this, but you're not going to have all the tools. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are A-type personality. They want more and they see potential and they can be perfectionists.
Yeah.
And that stops people sometimes from moving forward because you never quite feel ready. Well, you're never going to be ready.
Right.
Even I feel like 40 years in, I'm still going to feel like I could have done it better. I'm not ready. What else could I have done better? And I just think that's the nature of it. So you have to get comfortable with that and just start.
Yeah. So it's like, stop waiting to be ready.
Yeah.
Because you never will be.
Yep.
And start focusing.
Yep. Exactly.
You really
narrow it in.
Yep.
1% every day. Wake up in the morning and you have a dream, you have a vision, you're just going to do 1% better than the day before and really commit. I think commitment is something that's really hard in this day and age. A lot of the younger generations too, my generation for sure.
Yeah.
There's so many options. We're constantly inundated, and with social media, you could go in a million different directions, even with one niche area of your business. I could go in a million different directions in marketing. Go in a million different directions in product development. I could, there's just so much. So just pick and
just focus. I love it. Excellent advice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I need to hear that too.
I have huge news. The Independent Retailers Association is live. We are so excited to announce that this online community is here to support independent retailers. We believe that it is the independent era. This is your time to shine. You have so many advantages to stand out, to grow customer experience, to get found online, to be a modern retailer that is relevant to today's consumer. And we want to help aid you in all of that, which you'll find on the Independent Retailers Association. Now, we call it INDERA, short for Independent Era. This is your era, and we're here to just amplify that with you and with all the other independent retailers who are inside of our community. So if you want to join us, membership starts as low as just $25 a month to join the community, get access to education, resources done for you, AI training, and more. To learn more and to join, head to joinindera.com. That's join, INDERA.com to see the different membership levels and learn about what we are up to. I would love to see you inside of our community, and I would love to support. So head on over to joinindera.com and let's get back to the episode.
Now, you guys are doing events and sometimes driving in 500 and 600 people. Like, that's a phenomenal turnout. I mean, incredible. Now, and let me ask, is it 6,000 people I have on here? Okay, so 500 to 6,000 people. I'm like, was this a typo? No, that's incredible.
That's true.
So what's the secret sauce to creating events that are not only bringing people in, like we want to know some of that, but also translating to sales?
Yeah, so some of our events are smaller. They're in our brick and mortar, and they're around 500 to 1,000 people. And then we have our public events that we do. We partner with our city, our local ordinance, and we also partner with some other local venues to host the event for us. And those spaces have the ability to bring in thousands of people with parking and restrooms, et cetera. So it's a great partnership. And I think what drives the foot traffic to them is really just we've built a community on hospitality of, I don't want to say the customer is always right, because there are instances where there's a little fine line there sometimes. You want to make them happy in the end, no matter what. But sometimes there could be advantage taken. And so you need to take care of your business at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. So I think what brings in the traffic to these events is we focus on hospitality, and we've built a brand that's really humble and small town vibe, even no matter how big we've gotten. So we memorize people's names. We know their stories. We know where they live. We remember them coming to our home studio 6 years ago in our backyard and really engage with them. And we are ruthless about advertising. We do a couple of things. We do signage in the community, big billboards we post, drives a lot of traffic, and we know our community. So we have permission from neighbors and local businesses who say, yeah, I'll put your billboard up for 3 weeks, and it's a 4x8 billboard and thousands of people see it.
Nice.
Instead of, investing in a highway billboard that's thousands and thousands of dollars, you have to be creative about how you're going to reach people nowadays. And, we're seeing stuff all the time. We're always on our screens. That stuff people are becoming numb to. So you have to be creative about how you're going to reach them while being respectful. But I think our signage is a huge part of our success with the events, along with just this family vibe of you're my neighbor and I know you, and they want to come. They see our stuff now and it's like, oh, Ash and Tate. It's not just To Be Glass. So that's really fun and fulfilling as well. And I think at the end of the day, again, that's kind of what we're trying to do here with owning your own business and building a brand. And so it really has a return on investment as well.
Excellent advice. I love the idea of getting creative with your ads. Talk to your community. Where can, and then you can exchange.
How can we help each other?
Yeah, exactly. It's so good.
There's so many people around you, that you can start with to get off the ground. And obviously the internet and international, national exposure is going to take you to the next level. But when you're starting out and you just focus on your community, there's thousands of people around you that you need to meet first.
Yes.
And, essentially almost practice with too, to refine your process, refine your voice, and build relationships.
Yeah, it's so true. I talk about this a lot in the show of being 15-mile famous.
Yeah.
If everybody in a 15-mile radius knew your business, what you sell, loves you, does that change your business? And it does. So start there. Sometimes we think too, I want to go viral on social, or I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. But when we really...
Yeah, it's like this scale where when you want to be an entrepreneur, you can only really see today and too far ahead, and you have to scale back and go, what are the incremental little steps I need to do?
Yes.
And there's so many little steps, and it goes back to the 1% every day. Every day you wake up and what am I going to do today that I'm going to make a new friend? I'm going to, make a new customer. I'm going to fix something that's broken, etc. All the
little step. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Okay, so I was on your site and I'm loving all the things that you guys are creating. I just want to know what's popular right now. What's trending in your world?
Yeah. Oh gosh. So I would say our top sellers across the board are pumpkins.
I saw the pumpkins.
The pumpkins.
It's so
Which
fun.
Is so interesting.
Yeah.
We sell thousands of pumpkins a year. Thousands and
Any
thousands
time of year are people buying?
Or it is more popular July, August, September, October.
Okay.
The true diehards start early, end of July. They're getting ready for the equinox. There's many customer types, but there's, the early ones who are really into Halloween and they're really into the equinox. And so they start early. And then you've got, a bunch of others that follow. But the rest of the year, it's stable, it's consistent, it's great. It's great to keep them busy making pumpkins because as the makers, handmade, if you don't make pumpkins until July, you're going to be a little rusty.
No
and you're also So we make pumpkins and ornaments all year long. We have Pumpkin Thursday, Pumpkin Friday, Ornament Saturday every week to meet our numbers. So we build inventory the entire year.
Oh my goodness,
super
it's so
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy it because it's so free. Our glassware, our drinkware, our kitchenware is really refined. We want it to fit into people's homes. all year long. And the pumpkins are a great opportunity for the artist and me to play. And just so I design our work and to just really explore colors and combinations. So it's my favorite. Every time, every morning, the glass goes in the annealer at night. You have to wait overnight for it to come down the temperature. Every morning, opening the annealer is like Christmas Day.
Oh.
It's like this display of all of their work.
Wow.
And you never really know how things are going to turn out, because
Yeah.
glass reacts differently with the temperature change. And so something that looks red when you're making it will likely be blue or
Oh, wow.
anything really. So really fun to open the annealer doors.
Okay, such a surprise.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's so
it's
fun.
so fun.
And those pumpkins, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I have
pumpkins
a
and
retailer you
ornaments.
need to talk to too who sells like 800 ornaments or something.
Oh,
And she's
okay.
in California. So I'll
Oh,
connect
all
you.
right. Yeah.
She was also on the show.
Great.
Okay, are you ready for the resilience round?
Oh, yes.
All
I
right.
hope so.
All right, here we go. Best business book.
My most recent favorite is Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, love him.
I love him.
Yeah.
It was such a good book, not only for business, but for life. And I feel now they just go so hand in hand. If you're not happy in life, you're not going to be happy at work. Vice versa. If you're not, doing good in life, you're not going to do good at work.
Yeah.
And there's just so many nuggets of wisdom in there. We actually have a chalkboard wall in our
Oh, cool.
house. And every chapter we were on the chalkboard wall. It's just
love
for
it.
motivational quotes
Yeah.
and inspiration. So,
That's
I mean,
cool.
we've got like, I don't know, 30 Stephen Bartlett quotes.
Oh, I love
on
it.
this wall right now.
So cool.
Yeah, so really good book, really centering, really grounding, because I just feel like entrepreneurship can just take you all over the place and you can really lose sight of your purpose and your goals.
True.
Lots of pressure, lots of expectations. So it was very grounding and really healthy read. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read it yet, but I love him, so I'll have to check it out.
yeah, check it out. Sorry, that was not very fast.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Try better.
That's all right.
Okay.
Best retail technology, like an app or software.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier, I've been recently using an app called Coolors. It's Coolors, and it's a fairly simple app. It allows you to make color palettes, and this has been game changer for me because I have like groveled over colors and combinations of how do you stay fresh, how do you stay current. You can often take the same product and change the color and really refresh your whole retail space,
Yeah.
your online space, your social media platform. So playing with colors, especially for newer generations, there are some amazing color combinations, I feel like, that are coming out into the world that are a lot more creative and dynamic, and it's so fun to play with. So this
Yeah.
tool allows you to click through. It's moving tiles of colors, and you click one when you like one, and then it moves the other ones, and that one stays still. And so you can
cool.
build these palettes that are complementary. It's just so fun and really
super
helpful
fun.
if you're
I would
designing.
like that. I feel like my
merchandising.
husband would like that. He's going to reach his phone right
Yeah.
now to download that app.
It's so cool.
Awesome.
And actually last night a friend forwarded me, there's this new tool. It's called a NYX. It looks like a little like magnifying glass thing. You can put it over top of a color and it will capture the Pantone color that you can then put into Coolors.
Sweet.
I mean, you can just be going, I'm going to be going around the world like this one.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, it's so
How fun.
fun.
Okay, I can't wait to check those out
Yeah.
too. Great suggestions.
Thank
So
you.
fun. Okay, how do you keep up with the ever-changing retail landscape?
Do you? I don't know. Yeah, I think you just have to accept that it's ever changing, ever moving. This is the world I've chosen, you've chosen, and you have to, instead of watching Netflix for an hour at night, watch YouTube for an hour a night, learn and fit it into your life to stay current. And I don't mean doom scroll.
Right.
You have to be intentional about what kind of content you're taking in and where you're spending your time, as it's really easy to lose hours a day in busy work or doom scrolling. And at the same time, make sure you're making time for rest and quiet time, and not, because I feel like that's a really good space for the focus and making sure that you are staying current and you're on track for your retail business. Because I feel like if I spend too much time educating, trying to stay current, watching YouTube, thinking of all the things I could be doing, you completely lose your mind.
Yes.
And you just don't even know how to run a business anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, how am
What
I
am
doing
I
this?
doing? Who do I listen to? And
Yeah.
use your own internal compass and voice.
Exactly. So at the same time, and maybe even now that comes up, I would say no, more than staying educated is follow your compass,
Yeah.
and you have the creativity and the drive inside of you, and everyone around you is a companion and a friend to your journey, and you don't want to be doing what they're doing. You want to be doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And, you know, we all have a unique offering to the world. So be careful not to let too many opinions into your mind space, and at the same time, you know, value their input.
Right.
So I guess
Yeah.
it's a balancing act.
It
I'm
is.
all over the place with that.
No, but you are absolutely 100% correct. I think it's important that we have that conversation. And I think what you said is just so dead on, and we need to hear it. So that was an excellent
Okay,
answer.
good.
It was excellent. To help retailers be stronger, more rooted in success, what's a leadership foundational best practice?
Best practice. I guess I would say best practice. We kind of goes back to what I've in general been saying. It's rooted in happiness. You know, you need to make sure your team's happy. You need to make sure your partners are happy. You need to make sure you're happy. You need to show up happy. If you're not happy, you're why? You know, it's just like you left a different situation, albeit working for someone else or whatever the scenario was, to be happier. And if you haven't reached that, you know, keep trying. You know, it's not always sunshine and daisies again. You know, It's not about every day being blissful. But in general, if you can just check in every day with your team and your people and make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing and you feel like you're providing something to your community that they are actually enjoying, then the business will do itself. You know, then you will have the customers, which will make you happy, which will make money, which makes you happy, makes them happy. Yeah, it's just a ripple.
Yeah.
It's
such good advice. I agree. If you had to start your business all over again, what's one thing you'd do differently?
Oh, so many things, but none at the same time. Like, it was such a journey of discovery and self-development. And I guess I would really tell younger me, stop taking everything personally. Stop taking things personally. When things don't go exactly how you hoped they had, it's not a personal attack on you, or it's not a reflection of you all the time. Sometimes it is. But it can really be a detriment to your forward motion when you take it personally. And obviously apologize when you need to apologize. Obviously, you know, make things right and correct the wrongs. But I just mean more, I was sensitive in the beginning of the business of, you know, how to handle the partnerships or relationships we were building that weren't going exactly how I had hoped. And I always took it personally. And I just wish that I hadn't. I would have loved to have handled it with more grace and, you know, kindness, and just at the end of the day, not felt like I could have done a better job there. And then I would have been able to wake up the next morning and just been happy instead of carrying that with me for a week or month or whatever it was. Just brush it off, say you did your best, and don't take it personally. Wrong the wrongs, right the rights, and, you know,
I think that's such good advice, because it's very easy, especially when it's your business. And you're
so
creating, like, you can take things personal. I talk about this. We have an event in my first year. Registration wasn't what I thought it would be. I was very optimistic, and I thought we were going to have just hundreds and hundreds of people. And we had 120, I think, or 110. And my friend was like, "You're taking this personal, like people aren't coming to your party." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
they didn't come to my birthday.
Like, I'm throwing this party and you aren't coming." And when I change that, this isn't personal, this is business. And how are we marketing? How are we advertising?
How can I do better?
What am I doing at this show to deliver an epic experience for these people? And that all shifted my mindset, and we provided such a great event, and year 2 doubled, and from there it was great. But that was a big lesson for me, and I love that you shared that today.
And 120 is still great. You know, we have these like bars that are
unrealistic bars. I know, man, we're nuts sometimes. All right, Ash, finally, what do you think the future of independent retail looks like?
Yes, I think it looks so bright. I think our next generations really value small boutique retail, handmade. I think that I listened to a recent podcast with Sarah from Launch Your Box, and I have to agree with her. It's hybrid. If you are online and you don't have a brick and mortar, work towards getting a brick and mortar or something that resembles that. Pop-ups, art shows, be in person. If you're in person and you don't have a website, get a website, get on Etsy, find a way to be online, because I think these next generations really do want a hybrid. There's not a lot of trust on the internet these days when you're shopping. I feel like even reviews, we all scan reviews like crazy, right? Before we buy anything now. And the reviews can be conflicting even. It's like, well, what if they don't have the standards that I do? What if they have really high standards and I would have really liked that?
Right.
So it helps, but it's not a actual, I got to feel it in person.
Right.
So I think these next generations really want to come into the space, feel your product, smell your product, experience your product, and then go home and later be able to buy it online and not have, like, they do the vetting, right? They want to vet it themselves, and then they want the convenience for the next 10 years to get it online by themselves. So I think, it's really important to be hybrid.
I so agree. So good. Ash, how can people learn more and connect with you?
Yeah, so we have a website, www.2bglass.com. We have an Etsy as well. We have a brick and mortar in Cameron Park. Our social media is at 2bglass, and that's the number 2, the letter B, and then glass, all one word. Instagram, Facebook, hopefully be starting a YouTube channel here pretty soon. Excited to talk about glass blowing and educate people on the history of glass. It is an ancient art form that is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's a really small community as it is, but as the maestros are turning 70 and 80 years old, a lot of them did not pass the torch down to their generations. So we're seeing it shrinking, and we really want to keep it alive and talk about how amazing this medium is. It's really magical.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And YouTube is such a great place for that. So I love that you guys are going to lead that charge.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of market and sitting down with me. This is so good.
Yeah, it was really great to meet you and see you in person. It's awesome.
I know, so good meeting you. So awesome. Everyone, remember that I'm rooting for your success. Have a great week ahead. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Rooted in Retail podcast. It means the world to me to have you here. If you find value in this show and you listen on an iPhone, if you could leave a review on the Apple Podcast app, that would be amazing. And if you watch YouTube, if you're a YouTube subscriber, we film this. And so if you rather watch the show, you can also do that over on YouTube. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.